Greetings and welcome. As you come on in, please type a 13 in the chat if you can see me and hear me. A little clunky getting off the ground today. I am super excited to welcome you to my weekly live open Q&A show known as SEM Mondays. This is definitely, man, I used to think this was a great way to start your week off, and now with all of this insanity, all of this uncertainty, I don't like to think of my life without source energy medicine. And these days, it's comforting to me knowing that we have this way of being able to connect virtually from the comfort and safety of our own homes, and not only have about 10 minutes or so to do a quick Q&A, but gosh, I hope you know that probably I think the last 4 or 5 weeks I've been including a group non-material source energy medicine session, which is an energy healing. It's the energy healing aspect of source energy medicine. So I have a bunch of questions that have come in, so I'll do my best to bounce back and forth between questions from folks who are on with me live, which sometimes honestly is quite challenging, as well as questions that have come in through various ways that folks communicate with me. And then we'll wrap things up with a group energy healing session. And, one thing to me that is very comforting is that there's massive benefit to re-watching these energy healing sessions. Doesn't necessarily matter which one you watch the replay of. However, each one is different, each one is unique, and has there are a lot of things that we could talk about in there, but I want to try and stay on point here and not go off into sidebars about things that are super fascinating to me. But I really hope that you are using these energy healing sessions as a way to support you. It seems to me like there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty and higher levels of fear than I think that we as humans collectively have probably ever experienced before. It seems like a serious shortage of peace and calm. And I certainly do hope that SEM Mondays not only gives you peace of mind knowing you can ask your questions to me on a regular scheduled basis, right? Every week you know where to find me. But also to experience, really, to bask in this energy that to me is like unconditional love. So if there is anyone joining us live on SEM Mondays for the very first time, gosh, I would love to see that in the chat. Just shoot an emoji or type a new or a 1 into the chat. And, I almost always forget this part, but we have new folks join us all the time. And just in case you don't know, my name is Stephen Pollitt, and I'm the creator of Source Energy Medicine, and I've been sharing Source Energy Medicine with you since 2005. Not with you if you're totally new, but with you meaning the world. So just want to make sure I did not miss anything. So, on our YouTube channel, there's a playlist that is just for the SEM Mondays content. It's where it's all archived, so super easy to find. And I often talk about other videos, and they're always linked in the comments or below the player. You'll see a place for with a little description and a link that says more. Click that link that says more, and you'll find links that are in there. So yeah. Before we go a whole lot further, I do think it's worth mentioning that, YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. So we're receiving a lot of emails, like an overwhelming number of emails from people. And you could find the answer to your questions much faster if you go to YouTube, type in Source Energy Medicine, sample protocol, for example, or Source Energy Medicine and 5G, or Source Energy Medicine, how to make, and our videos will come up. You'll see them. So, YouTube is owned by Google. So sometimes if you're searching on Google, YouTube videos will turn up in the search. So, gosh, a lot of the questions that I continue to receive are all about. A couple of weeks ago, I tried on my SEM Mondays to talk about COVID-19 and this new cellular network. Apparently, that's not material that YouTube will allow me to talk about. So, I shot a pre-recorded video, uploaded that to our YouTube channel. Last I checked, it's still there. But I would strongly encourage you to check out that clip. It's me connecting a lot of data points. It's not conspiracy theory. It is a theory. It's a theory that I think holds a lot of validity. So if you go to YouTube, type in source energy medicine and 5G, that clip will come up, and I honestly would check it out fast. Because of the literally hundreds of thousands of videos that are uploaded to YouTube every moment, it's harder for them to police content that, I would love to know what it is that I wanted to talk about that is on their do not talk about list. So kind of shocking, and yet I think it's important information. So yes, in one hand, it's risking that my entire channel could get shut down, which would be awful, and yet it's information that I don't think is outrageous. I'm not implicating or pointing fingers at anyone. I think it's pretty safe, and yet very very helpful, very informative. So if you're joining us late, we have just a few more minutes of Q&A. This was originally 11 minutes, my SEM Monday show, but because of all of the increased number of questions, especially about coronavirus, and then including the energy healing session, the format is kind of open-ended at this point, because I want to show up here every week and serve you. I want to show up here every week and support you as best as I can. So I continue to receive a lot of questions about the special masterclass that I created a few weeks ago. That's all about COVID-19 and how to literally maximize source energy medicine technology to help to ensure that I stay healthy and well, and you as well. Not only now during this pandemic, which of course is, probably, I think, I'm getting questions from a lot of people. It sounds like they've ignored their health for a lot of years. I know I was in denial about my health for a long time. And now this is a wake-up call for a lot of people. So in order to be able to support everyone, I'm continuing to leave registration open for that special masterclass. And it's interesting to me because this masterclass will serve you so well for the rest of your life. And I say that because what I talk about, right, the answers to COVID-19, the answers to SARS, the answer to any pandemic is the same as the answers to what would cause a cold or a flu or a stomach upset that would lead to extreme nausea or crazy headache or vomiting or diarrhea, right? Those are all characterized as acute conditions. So this special masterclass is really about acute conditions. First and foremost, how to avoid them, right? What are the most important things to consider? But then also a step-by-step plan for, should signs or symptoms present themselves, exactly what to do. How to create an emergency preparedness kit, right? Which are the source energy medicine charging labels that would be most helpful to have on hand, 3 o'clock in the morning. Which ones should be made up in somewhere handy, right, that I could access. And an emergency preparedness kit for your car, an emergency preparedness kit for when you travel. And doesn't matter if you're flying or going on a cruise or taking your backpack and going up into the mountains or the desert. So I think it's cool that, it's a tremendous amount of work to create this masterclass. And I love knowing that it should, I created it in part like a big reason why was not only so that you can do all of those things, but to me, when you can do all of those things, I like for me, having source energy medicine during all of this, really during every day, right? I haven't had a cold or a flu since 2005. It just gives me so much peace and comfort, and just literally emotional well-being, knowing I don't care where this thing came from. I don't care what it is. I don't care if there's various theories on where it came from and how it's spreading, but regardless, it all has to do with stuff that I understand I have achieved mastery of, and I have all of the tools, the technology, the resources, and I have an amazing community to support me, right? To gather together, compare notes, talk about what's up, right? So let me just check the chat thread and see what's going on. Just a whole bunch of hellos. David says, I'm having trouble falling asleep and getting up. There's just so much going on. I honestly think, Dave, that your body is probably having a very, very hard time adjusting to. So, it's interesting. This whole 5G thing is, you could be off the grid, right? You could live completely without electricity, without electronic devices, completely off the grid, and you're still being exposed to 5G. And I think that is definitely helping or contributing to throwing off people's sleeping cycles, right? So, I think at a time like this with high levels of stress and then a massive interruption to our energy field, I would drink more source energy medicine than before, and I would do a lot more meditation. I would eat so well, it's not funny. Avoid sugar, alcohol, caffeine as much as possible, and eat really, 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 really well. Love yourself, magnificently, beautifully, right? So, and then your sleep should be phenomenal. I talked about using the source graphic or source energy medicine blank charging label under your pillow or in your pocket. That also helps to transform all that slow energy. Matt shares, watched your 5G and COVID-19 video, very helpful. You said 5G tunes your body to the same frequency. Can you expand upon that? Our bodies are water, and everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration. Think about what all this is. This is satellites and receivers, and we as being bodies of water, and again, since you watched that video, you understand the more metal that you have, the better of an antenna you are, and it's literally tuning the water, right, the water in your body to that exact frequency. That exact frequency is the exact same if you were to measure it on Dr. David Hawkins' scale, which is what I do. The SARS part calibrates at the exact same frequency as the COVID-19 part, which calibrates at the exact same frequency as 5G. So if the water in your body is calibrated at that exact same frequency, well, guess what? Here it comes. So I hope that makes sense. And, if there's anything beyond that you'd like me to expand on, type something else in there, Matt. And Therese says, is it helpful to include source energy medicine, heavy metal, to alleviate 5G symptoms, especially if you have heavy metal in the body? So, Therese, it sounds like you probably have not watched that video because, from my perspective, you could have a tremendous amount of, let's say, surgical metal in your body, which is probably, the largest contributor to people that have a lot of metal in their bodies. And here too, if the water in their body calibrates above 200, then it's a non-issue, right? So ELP fusion number 1 is the most important one, no question about it. At that point, like for me, I was sensitive to the metal fillings that I have in my mouth, to the point where before source energy medicine, I came very, 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 very close to investing tens of thousands of dollars to have them removed. Now it's to me a complete non-issue, right? So same fillings, which is kind of crazy 15 years later, and a lot of them are from when I was a kid. And yet, testing them then and testing them now, and also my experience. Like I could taste the metal in my mouth, and now I haven't been able to do that since 2005. So now, with your energy level calibrated high enough, they're able. What would be toxic below 200 is either neutral or ends up being something that's helpful. So, certainly adding the transformation heavy metal wouldn't hurt, but I think if that's your focus, you're totally missing the picture, right? The most important thing is your energy level, right? And as I've been talking about this the last several weeks, the things that affect our energy levels, has the strongest negative effect on our energy levels, are things like fear, stress, trauma, harsh judgment, hatred. So any of those sound familiar these days? It's a ton. So I'm about to switch to the group energy healing session. If there are any questions very specifically about the energy healing aspect of source energy medicine, known as the non-material aspect of source energy medicine, please type something into the chat now. And I have some tech stuff that I have to get underway. If you're new to source energy medicine and you don't know about the non-material aspect of source energy medicine, there's a clip that's inside of our free source energy medicine mini course known as the Quick Start Guide, where I talk about in really good depth the non-material aspect of source energy medicine. That video is also on YouTube. So, and if there are any general questions, I'll answer them now, and then go to YouTube, search source energy medicine, non-material aspect, and that'll come up, and check that out, and take a look at that. So it's important for me to share. It's important for you to know that this work is not dramatic. It's not cathartic, right? Meaning it's not, you're not going to experience a healing reaction or pain or discomfort, because I'm not fighting or combating anything. I'm simply transforming slow energy to fast energy. And when we do that, it is like going into a dark room and turning on the light switch. Technically, the darkness is still there. It's just vibrating differently. So the work is phenomenally fast. Since this is a group session and a general session, it'll likely be about 5 minutes or so. I'll put chanting on in the back, and I turn my camera off so I don't distract you. And when I'm done, I'll turn the chanting off and come back on camera and invite you to take a couple of nice deep breaths. And then we'll wrap things up for today. And if you have any questions that you posted in the chat that I haven't had a chance to reply to, I'll do my best to reply to as many of them after this is all done. And you can, of course, join me live here next Monday, same time. So I'm going to invite you. So on your end, please use common sense, right? This is energy work. While it's not dramatic, it's not cathartic. God forbid, I hope you're not out driving, and yet some people have to, right? UPS drivers are out, FedEx drivers are out, long-distance truck drivers are out. So if you're driving, probably not the best opportunity to receive this, in that, even though especially I think in this scenario, it might look like I am the one in the, role of the quote-unquote facilitator. You are indeed healing yourself, and you are guiding the work, right? You set the pace, you set the tone, you set whether you receive it a little or you receive it completely is completely up to you. If that is news to you, go to YouTube and type into the search bar source energy medicine expectations, and there's a really good clip, one of my favorite clips that I've made. I've made hundreds of clips over the last couple of years. It's one of my favorites to this day. But it really talks about what are the different things that influence my experience with source energy medicine, whether it's charging labels or energy work, and beyond source energy medicine, right? It's how it is that certain things work and certain things don't work. So on your end, a minimum of distractions seems to increase the receptivity. That's why I say if you're driving, probably not the greatest environment, right? And if it is safe and comfortable for you to either lower your gaze and soften your focus, or if it is safe and comfortable for you to completely close your eyes and just allow and receive. If it's not safe and comfortable for you, don't do any of those things and watch the replay. I hope that makes sense. Please use common sense. Please use logic. Please be gentle with yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and get things set up here. I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And another. And as much as possible, simply allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to see you through the eyes of the source of all creation, which I believe to be as whole and perfect and complete, pure, innocent, divine perfection. Continue to breathe comfortably and regularly. And simply allow, simply accept, and receive. Take a nice deep breath. Feel the gentle pressure of the clothes against the skin. And another nice deep breath. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and slowly blink them open and come back to here and now, this moment in this time, space, reality, and my SEM Mondays live show here on YouTube. So, some of the most precious moments that I have the opportunity to share every week is with this energy healing work. And every opportunity that I have to share it with a group, it gets better, and each group is different. Each group creates its own morphic field, and each group is unique. And the group in every way contains everyone who's ever going to watch this, even 10 or 20 years from now. So it's interesting because each group feels a little bit different, and I don't like to compare and contrast, but I always do get a sense for energy levels, right? We're talking about at lower energy levels, pathogens are an issue. At higher calibrated energy levels, pathogens are not an issue. So the higher we each have an ideal energy level. The higher our ideal energy level, it's like the higher up on the Hawkins scale we would calibrate. And in a sense, it's like being able to hold more light, if you will. So I always love to kind of just get a feel for what each group is like, and this group feels like there are so many people have extremely high ideal energy levels. So if you don't understand about energy levels and how they affect every aspect of our life and being and what we experience day to day, here too, go to YouTube, type into the search bar Source Energy Medicine, calibrated energy levels, and check out that video. So, yeah. So I have an appointment that I have to skedaddle for, and just really super grateful to each of you for your time, for your interest, for caring enough to want to learn how to heal yourself, want to learn how to master source energy medicine to the point where regardless of what life brings your way, you're prepared, right? You have a game plan, you have the technology, you have the tools, you have the resources, you know how to use them, and you have a community of like-minded individuals from around the world to gather together and support each other. So as much as possible, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, eat extremely well, do all of the things that make the most sense, right, to our human physiology. Exercise, whatever you could do inside your house as much as possible seems to be the safest approach. And if you do go out, definitely wear a mask and practice social distancing, I think, just to be respectful to everyone. And as much as possible, read uplifting material, right? Read books, watch movies that are inspiring, right? That'll actually help to shift your energy, at least temporarily. Comedies are a great source of healing and well-being. So between now and a bunch of folks I saw comments from joining us late, welcome, and make sure you check out the replay. And again, re-watching this energy healing session that we just experienced once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. It seems to me, and I'm comparing notes from hundreds and hundreds of people who have commented on group sessions that I've shared, mostly in our online workshops, but not exclusively. There's definitely added benefit. It seems as if the work seems to go deeper and farther, second, third, 10th, 20th time, even if it's the exact same session. So, as always, I wish you continued blessings on your journey with Source Energy Medicine. Bye for now.